To make voiceovers these days is becoming so hard for me. You know why? After making my videos and editing them, whenever it's time to make voiceover, I will not even know where to start from. Is it by greeting and saying hi guys, which I have always done? I just want to change my pattern. Who else is in these shoes? Before I used to judge content creators whenever I'm watching their videos. When some people like they are making their voiceover and saying the same thing over and over again, I used to feel like it's easy. But when I started content creation, the first time I was finding it so difficult to make voiceovers. At some point I got used to it. Then later again I still find it difficult because I can't keep saying one thing over and over again. So whenever you see content creators or people that act, don't always judge them, because when you are in their shoes, you will find it very, very difficult. You won't even know where to start from. So guys, this was how I prepared yam and sauce this morning. After slicing my yam, you can see on the screen how I washed it into my pot, covered it, and brought out my fresh tomatoes to slice. Whenever I'm making my yam sauce, I like to slice my fresh tomatoes, not too little. I like it to come out well. So do you add Maggi cube to your sauce? I used to hear a lot of people say that it's a natural food, that you don't need to add Maggi into it, you don't need to add seasoning cube. But I always like to add mine, because even beans, I used to hear people say you don't need to add seasoning to your beans. But how come? Like, how will you be able to eat it without adding? The only thing you say is that you don't need to add much to them. All these people that always shout that it doesn't need seasoning cube, they are the people that used to pack it into their food. Anyways, I like to add mine. Highest, just two cubes of Maggi I will add to my sauce. Even my beans I used to add, but just little. So this was me. After cutting the onion, I cracked the egg. I brought out 5 eggs for it. I later added one because the fresh tomatoes was much. I love when my sauce has enough egg. So this was me turning on the gas for my pot that I'll be using to prepare the sauce. I started to check the yam if it was done. Then I brought it out for these kids. They were saying that I should bring out for them. Look at how Elliot and Naomi was struggling to even pick the yam up. They were keeping it on the seat we were sitting. Tell me how I will stop them from doing that. We will just talk and talk and keep shouting. I had to use this oil I used in frying fish a day before this day I was preparing this. Then added my onions. After the oil heated up, then added my pepper. Then I started adding my tomatoes. Don't mind the then. That's why I say that voiceover is becoming so hard for me these days. I checked my yam, it was already soft. I brought it out, poured it into my sieve, then poured it back to the pot. I didn't want to cover it so that it will not be hot anymore. I want it to be cooling down a bit. Since we are going to eat this morning, since we're going to finish it this morning. So I added my egg, then stirred it. I waited small before stirring it sharp. So this was me trying to dish out the food for everybody. This was ours. I couldn't record the whole dishing part because this video is already long. So this was me coming to the parlor. Us, not actually me. People should not mind me. This is why I said voiceover is damn hard for me. So my baby girl brought out the table for us to use and eat, and I started feeding them. And this is all for this vlog, guys. See you in my next vlog. Bye.